Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala, thumma amma ba'd. To proceed, well, we are continuing with Kitab al-Fara'id, or the Book of Inheritance, and we're going to repeat and repeat and repeat until we memorize all that stuff, because it's different. Fara'id as a discipline is completely different from the other disciplines, and we need to repeat, and we need also to take different scenarios or different cases and do the distribution. So we need a lot of exercise, a lot of training. So let's start by someone telling me who will inherit. Who are the 10 men who will inherit and the 7 women who will inherit? The 10 that can be broken down to 15 and the 7 that can be broken down to 10. So let's start with the men. Who are they? Men. Son. Wait a second. Do you have another one? Okay, so son. Sons. Father, grandfather, and that is the paternal grandfather, as you remember. Paternal grandfather. And who else? Okay. Brother. Brother's sons. Uncle, uncles, and that is the paternal uncle. Uncles, sons. Yes, we have 2 left. That would be the husband and emancipator. Excellent. Okay, give me the 7 women. Daughter. The son's daughters. Son's daughters. We'll wait for the wife now. Mother. And the grandmother. Sister, wife, and the emancipator. You guys are great. This side even is better. Yeah. Okay. So break these down to 15. Where do we start to start the breakdown? Okay. What do you mean by the grandfather? No, you don't start here. You'll start the breakdown with the brothers. Those are 3 brothers. This is full paternal and maternal. They all inherit. Full paternal and maternal. They all inherit. Brothers' sons. These are what? 2. Full and paternal. Full and paternal, in what sense? The brother needs to be a full brother or a paternal brother for their son to inherit, because their son will inherit as a asaba, as residuary heir. And asaba are the paternal male relatives. The people who will be responsible for what? To get them out of trouble, to bail them out, to pay the indemnity, or, so they get to inherit. Uncle's sons, that is our uncles. Uncle here, which uncle? Full and paternal. This P means paternal uncle. It means the amma versus the khal. It means their father's brother, not their mother's brother. but their father's brother could be their father's full brother or their father's paternal brother. Uncle's sons, two types, F and P, full and paternal. Husband, no, that's one thing, I guess. But, okay. So, now, so when we did this breakdown, we got 2 more here, 1 more here, 1 more here, 1 more here. So that's 5 in addition to the 10, that is 15. Break this down to be 10 instead of 7. Where do you start? The grandmother. Yes, here you start with the grandmother because we're dividing the grandmother into 2 types, al-Umm and al-Ab. So the paternal grandmother and the maternal grandmother. Maternal grandmother and paternal grandmother. And we will come and talk a little bit more in detail about the types of grandmothers. Okay, so which sister will inherit? Full, paternal, maternal. So the different types of sisters will inherit. So in this case, we got 1 more out of this, and we got 2 more out of this. So we have 7 plus 3, that is 10. And we said which ones would inherit designated shares. The son inherits a designated share. Sons. Father. And the father and the grandfather, they're the only ones who would inherit both designated shares in some scenarios and as asaba, as residuary heirs at the same time through the same connection, which is being a father or sort of same relationship. The other one who could inherit by both fard and ta'sib, a designated share, and as a residuary heir is the husband who happened to be also the closest male relative. She was married to her cousin or something. Okay, so who else gets a designated share? Before we leave the brother, shouldn't the maternal brother get designated share? Okay. Brothers' sons, do they get designated shares? Uncles' sons? Husband?
Yes.
He gets a designated share. These are the 4 men who will get designated shares. We said 10 people will get designated shares. Who are the women who will get designated shares? The daughter gets a designated share? Yes. The son's daughters get designated shares? Yes. The mother gets a designated share? The grandmother gets a designated share? Yes. She gets 1/6. Yes, the grandmother. In the absence of the mother, the grandmother will get 1/6. Yeah. The sister gets a designated share? No, one sister will get a designated share. Actually, no, wait a second, not one sister. All the sisters will get designated shares. In certain cases, all the sisters will, because we will talk about the different scenarios now. So this one we know for sure will get a designated share, the maternal. But the full and the paternal, all the sisters will get designated shares. So the sister will get a designated share. The wife will get a designated share? Yes. So how many people get designated shares now? 6 out of the 7 women will get designated shares. 4 out of the 10 men will get designated shares. That is 6 and 4. That is 10 people who get designated shares. Last time we talked about the spouses and their inheritance, and we talked about the mother. So a quick review. The spouses and their inheritance. What does the husband get? Okay. When we talked about the shares of inheritance, the denominators that we have, we said that we have the original ones. Will be what? Will be half and quarter and 1/8 and 2/3 and 1/3 and 1/6. So remember, half and 2/3, and then the half divided by 2, and then divided by 2 again. So half, quarter, 1/8. The 2/3 divided by 2, 1/3 divided by 2 again, 1/6. So the husband will get 1/2 in the absence of what? In the absence of any children. That is children who inherit. Okay. The husband will get 1/4 in which case? In the presence of al-Fara al-Warith, the inheriting offspring, or al-Walad, children. The wife will get 1/4 and 1/8. In the first case, in the absence of children, 1/4, 1/8 in the presence of children. Which husband and wife are we talking about? Who is a husband and who is a wife? They're either married or married. Contracted means they're married. Once you're contracted means you're married. Okay, and the divorcee, that is, in unfinalized divorce, raj'iyya. If the husband can't take her back, she can inherit him, he can inherit her. If the husband cannot take her back, she cannot inherit from him, he cannot inherit from her. And we talked about the exception is if someone has divorced his wife and his sort of terminal illness because he doesn't want her to inherit, we will punish him and would make her inherit from him, but that's as a form of sort of punishment. But in general, what you want to remember is if the husband can take her back, they inherit from each other. If the husband cannot take her back in what sense? Without a new contract. Because he will always be able to take her back unless there is bainuna kubra, there is finalized divorce without recourse. But if there is finalized divorce with recourse, he can always take her back with a new contract. That is not the one that can inherit. The one who can inherit is the one who can take his wife back without a new contract. Without a new contract, okay? So these are the spouses that we're talking about. And we talked about the mother, and we said that the mother has 4 different ahwal. Do you remember the 4 ahwal, the 4 scenarios for the mother? Sixth if there is? No. Sixth, okay. She takes the 1/3 if there are no inheriting offspring or multiplicity of brothers, 2 or more brothers or sisters, 2 or more siblings, we should say. So the mother will take 1/3 if there is no inheriting offspring, far'a warith, or 2 or more siblings, any kind of siblings, okay? The mother will take 1/6 in the presence of the above. Inheriting offspring, far'a warith, or adad min al-ikhwa, 2 or more siblings. Okay? So that's the mother. She will come here and will come here. What's her third? The third scenario is the scenario that some of you didn't like. But we said it's the agreement of the farm. If there is a spouse,
at that time, whatever she has, whatever left,
she will take 1/3 of what is left. Okay. So if there is no spouse and she and her father, وَوَرِثَهُ أَبَوَاهُ فَلِأُمِّهِ الثُّلُثُ. If there is no spouse, and she and the father inherit the whole estate, she will take 1/3, the father will take 2/3. But what if there is a spouse? A spouse will not limit her. If there is a child or if there is a number of brothers or sisters, they will limit her. So we will not encounter that problem. But a spouse will not block her partially. There is no hajb, hajb nuqsan or hajb harman or anything. So the spouse will not block the mother. She still is entitled to 1/3. But if we give the husband 1/2 and the mother 1/3, what will remain for the father? 1/6. If the husband was not there, she would have taken 1/3 and he would have taken 2/3. How come just because the husband is there, she's taking, 1/3 and he's taking 1/6? So Umar radiallahu anhu said, if the husband is there, well, Abdullah ibn Abbas said this, but that's against the agreement of the four madhab. But anyway, Abdullah ibn Abbas also said that she will still get the 1/3, I don't care and stuff. But Umar and the agreement of the Sahaba and thereafter became the agreement of the madhab. They said, no, it would not make sense because that is against the sort of the ongoing default. She will get 1/3 of what is left after the husband or the wife, and the father will get the rest. So in this case, if it is a husband, she will get 1/6 of the total, which is 1/3 of what is remaining after the husband, and the father will get 1/3 of the total, which is 2/3 of what is remaining after the husband.
It got flipped.
No, it's not flipped.
Yes, it is flipped.
Why?
Because she's, according to Quran, she gets split. That's what the Quran said.
Okay.
Now you're flipping it. But anyway, it is.
Yeah. No, but doesn't the Quran say, okay, يوصيكم الله في أولادكم للذكر مثل حظ الأنثيين فإن كن نساء فوق اثنتين فلهن ثلثا ما ترك وإن كانت واحدة فلها النصف ولأبويه لكل واحد منهما السدس مما ترك إن كان له ولد فإن لم يكن له ولد وورثه أبواه فلأمه الثلث. If he has no husband, if he has no child, and his parents inherit him, meaning only his parents will inherit him, then his mother will be entitled to 1/3. Who takes the remaining 2/3? The father. So she got 1/3. Now he does not have a child, or the deceased did not have a child, but they had a husband. So the husband will take 1/2. If I still give her 1/3 of the total, the husband will get 1/6. Just because the husband, so how come the husband made it flip this way? So to be consistent with a scenario where there is no husband and she's getting 1/3, the father is getting 2/3. Umar said if there is a husband, she will still get half of the father's, and in this case she will get 1/3 of the remaining, he will get 2/3 of the remaining. But Abdullah ibn Abbas said, she gets 1/3 of the whole thing. But Abdullah ibn Abbas' opinion was counter to the agreement of the Sahaba and was not upheld by any of the four madhab, so it is sort of an extinct position. So moving to the fourth scenario. What's the fourth scenario for the mother? Who's the mother in the fourth scenario? Okay, if the son is only hers, for some reason it's, the son does not have a father, it's only hers. And then what's the case in this here? There are two positions according to Imam Ahmad. One position, which is the not authorized, the unauthorized position, is that she takes everything. She becomes like a residuary heir if the son did not have his own children and residuary heirs and so on. But the other position, which is the authorized position, is that she would get her 1/3 still, and her closest male relative, her own asaba, her own residuary heirs become her son's residuary heirs. Her own residuary heirs become her son's residuary heirs. But if you don't like that, you could take the other one, the other position. But anyway, these are all matters, judicial matters. You're not going to decide anyway, the judge will. So we're done now with the spouses, and we're not done with the mother. Who's next? Al-Jadd. Okay, why? Because we said the father and the grandfather are complicated, particularly when the grandfather inherits with the siblings, so we will defer this until next time. So now let's try to finish everything and keep the father and the grandfather for next time. So he says, وَلِلْجَدَّةِ إِذَا لَمْ تَكُنْ السُّدُسُ وَاحِدَةً كَانَتْ أَوْ أَكْثَرَ إِذَا تَحَاذَيْنَ فَإِنْ كَانَ بَعْضُهُنَّ أَقْرَبَ مِنْ بَعْضٍ فَهُوَ لِأَقْرَبِهِنَّ. Subsection, for the grandmother in the absence of a mother is 1/6. for the grandmother in the absence of the mother is 1/6. This is with whether there is one grandmother or more, as long as they are at the same or of the same generation. But if some of them are closer to the deceased than others, the 1/6 will all be for them, the closer one. So grandmother, we said which grandmothers will inherit. Here is the deceased. Here is the deceased. You're deceiving me. Here is the deceased. His father, her, because that's a woman. Her father, her mother, her paternal grandfather, her paternal grandmother, her maternal grandfather, her maternal grandmother. Who is going to inherit? Huh? This and this, right? They both inherit. Okay. Going up here. Okay, who's going to inherit out of these four grandmothers? Who is going to inherit? Is she going to inherit? Okay, so this is the mother of the paternal grandfather. The mother of the paternal grandfather will inherit. Okay, is she going to inherit? Who is she? This is, okay, so this is the mother of the paternal grandmother. Is she going to inherit? Yes. Absolutely, yes. Okay, is she going to inherit? No. Why? Because she has a male between two females. A male in the middle between two females. She is the mother of the maternal grandfather. That male between two females interrupts the umuma, the motherhood. So she does not inherit. Okay. She is for sure going to inherit. Okay, now, three different types of mothers, we say three different types of grandmothers would inherit. Why do we say three? Because from these three, anything above them that is connected through women only would inherit. Anything above them that is connected through women only would inherit. Who are those three? Those three are the this mother, and this mother, the two immediate grandmothers, and this mother. So these three, and anything that is connected, anything above that is connected through women only. Anything that is above that's connected through women only. So why are we saying this but not this? Because this is a no-brainer, because she is connected to this through a woman. This one is not, is connected through men. But the mother of this man, does she inherit as a grandmother? No, she does not. Because higher than the paternal grandfather, the mother of any father higher than the paternal grandfather does not inherit. But the mother of any grandmother, so as long as we're connected through women, we don't have a problem. But who are the ones that will get the inheritance if there is a man in the middle? That's the mother of the father and all of her mothers. The mother of the grandfather and all of her mothers. And certainly the mother of the mother and all of her mothers. But if you have any man higher than the paternal grandfather, his mother will not inherit as a grandmother. So that's too many men in her way to have umuma, to inherit through umuma or motherhood. But any woman that is connected to these three grandmothers through women only, through mothers only, will always inherit, even if she is, 20 generations up, if that can ever happen. So if she just needs to be connected through women only. So from this one all the way up through women, which is the mother of the father, all the way up through women. From this one all the way up through women, which is the mother of the paternal grandfather. And from this one all the way up through women, which is the mother of, which is the maternal grandmother, which is the mother of the mother. Okay? That's clear. So the mother of 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 the deceased inherits? Absolutely, you don't need to think about it because we didn't talk about any men here. So the mother of the father of the mother of the deceased inherits? No, because there is a man between two women here. I said the mother of the father of the mother of the father of the mother of the deceased. She does not inherit. There is a man between two women. The mother of the father of the father of the father of the deceased inherits? Yes. The mother of the father of the father of the father of the deceased inherits? No. Because anyone higher than the paternal grandfather, the immediate paternal grandfather, in terms of fathers, their mothers will not inherit. Okay, so these are the mothers that will inherit. If they are at the same level, yes?
So you said a male between two females in terms of paternity, but two males doesn't?
No, two males will also, a male between two females will end it.
And what about two males?
No.
So I don't understand the farthest example.
This,
Two males.
this,
Female.
but there is no female in the middle. That is a male between two females that will ruin it. These two males,
Will not.
they are connected directly to the deceased, not through a woman.
Right. But they were. My question was that there would be a chain of two males and then the female, which would be the mother of the paternal grandfather.
Okay, so because this is a male between two females, where is the male here between two females?
I mean, it stops at one. If it becomes two, it's fine, so long as it's directly related to the deceased.
No. Two males between two females is also a problem. But we don't have two males here between two females. Don't count the deceased.
Got it.
Don't count the deceased. The deceased could be a male here or a female. Don't count the deceased. But one or two males between females will interrupt the chain of motherhood. So this man is interrupting the chain between this woman and this woman. The mother of the maternal grandfather does not inherit. A male between two females, not counting the deceased. From here upwards, any male between two women will ruin the connection of motherhood. Okay, so now if they are, yes?
You said, how about female? You said the mother, father doesn't have all the way to top right. Top right spot. Is mother.
Okay, so let us say here, okay. Let us say this is the father and we have here a father and a mother. This is what? The great grandfather, connected through men only. So there is no man between two women. So we should say this woman should inherit, right? But she cannot, because anything higher than the paternal grandfather in terms of males, their mothers will not inherit. Is that clear? Okay. So if they are at the same level, they'll inherit all together. They will share the 1/6. At the same level, they will share all. They will all share the 1/6.
Same generation?
Same generation. So let us say, she is alive, she is alive, she is alive. But the condition here is what? She is dead, she's dead, she's dead. And this and this and this, they are alive. All three will inherit. Each one will get 1/3 of the 1/6. What if one of them is related to the deceased through two connections, like cousins who got married? So one of these great grandmothers is connected to them through two of her children. She gets twice the other ones. So we count for her connection, her two connections to the deceased. So if one of these three is connected through two and one is connected through one, we will give the one that is connected. We have three here. So we can't have, it will not be three, it will be two. But one of them is connected through two, and one of them is connected through one. The one that is connected through two will get 2/3 of the 1/6, and the one who's connected through one will get 1/3 of the 1/6. So if they are not at the same level, let us say the mother has to not be there. No grandmother would inherit anything in the presence of the mother, because the mother is taking her 1/6 or whatever she is taking, and the grandmother is out of this. Okay, grandmother is only in the case of the absence of the mother, and in the case of the absence of what? Any closer grandmothers. This grandmother is alive. This one is alive. Okay, and this one is alive. Who inherits? The lower one. Even though she is sort of looks more powerful because she connected through women only, and that is why there would be some disagreement. But we're talking Hanbali here. This or the majority also. This lower one will cancel this one. Will block this one. Tahjib this one. This lower one will block the one. They only inherit together if they are of the same generation. If they are of different generations, the closer one would inherit and not the farther one. And if there is a mother who's alive, no grandmother will inherit. وترث الجدة وابنها حي ولا يرث أكثر من 3 جدات أم الأم وأم الأب وأم الجد ومن كان من أمهاتهن وإن علون. A grandmother inherits even if her son is alive, but only 3 types of grandmothers inherit: the mother's mother, the father's mother, and the paternal grandfather's mother, as well as their mothers, no matter how many generations up. No matter how many, as long as the connection is only through women. Okay, so a grandmother would inherit even if her father is present, even if her son is present, which is the deceased's father, even in the presence of the father. So here. Okay, so she dies, her father is alive. Her mother is not alive, because we said no grandmother will inherit in the presence of a mother. Her father is alive, and her grandmother, this one, her father's mother, is alive. Does the father's mother in this case inherit? Yes, according to the Hanbalis. Yes, according to to the Hanbalis. No according to the rest. No according to the rest. Yes according to the Hanbalis. You're studying here the Hanbalis, so don't confuse yourself. Yes, she will inherit in the presence of her father. Why? Because Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, because Imam Ahmad argued or cited reports from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, أول جدة أطعمها رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم السدس أطعمها مع ابنها وابنها حي. So the first woman that the Prophet ﷺ allotted the 1/6, the first Jadda, the first grandmother, the Prophet ﷺ allotted the 1/6 to, he allotted the 1/6 to her with her son in her son's life. So that's why Imam Ahmad says the father does not block her, which is a little different from the ongoing rule. The ongoing rule is what? You don't inherit when the connection between you and the deceased is alive. When is that rule violated?
Only here?
And one other scenario. Only here according to the Hanbalis. And the other scenario according to all of them when this rule is violated, maternal siblings, they inherit in the presence of their mother. Maternal siblings will inherit in the presence of their mother. They are connected to the deceased through their mother, but they will inherit in her presence. And they can block her partially also from the 1/3 to the 1/6 if there is a number of them, it's 2 or more of them. So these are the 2 cases where you would inherit in the presence of the connection between you and the deceased. One according to the Hanbali madhab, and the other one is according to all of them. Okay, and then the Sheikh said, وَلَا تَرِثُ جَدَّةٌ تُدْلِي بِأَبٍ بَيْنَ أُمَّيْنِ وَلَا بِأَبٍ أَعْلَى مِنَ الْجَدِّ فإن خلف جدتي أمه وجدتي أبيه سقطت أم أبي أمه والميراث للثلاث الباقيات. All of this we explained. A grandmother does not inherit if she's connected to the deceased through a grandfather between 2 mothers or through a father higher than the grandfather, that's the paternal grandfather. So if he is survived by his mother's 2 grandmothers and his father's 2 grandmothers, the mother of the maternal grandfather will not inherit this one. The mother of the maternal grandfather will not inherit, and the other ones will, while the 3 other grandmothers will. Clear? The grandmother is clear? Let's move on to the daughter.
Can I ask a question? Maybe this is you can explain it maybe in the break. Why you said that's except this is the Hanbali madhab. Why did other madhab say no? What was the
The madhab said no because how can she inherit when her son is alive if her son was the connection to the deceased? Because the ongoing rule, except in the case of the maternal siblings, but the ongoing rule in general is that no one will inherit from the deceased in the presence of the connection between them and the deceased. The connection should block closer to the deceased. Her father is closer to his son, so it should block her because he's closer to his son. Okay. So then the Sheikh said concerning the inheritance of the daughters, فصل وللبنت النصف وللبنتين فصاعدا الثلثان. Subsection, for the daughter is 1/2, and for 2 or more daughters a total of 2/3. Daughter is 1/2, 2 or more daughters will share the 1/3. Will share the 2/3. Certainly. We're talking about a daughter who does not have a brother. Because if she has a brother, a brother that is the son of the deceased. So this daughter, a daughter who will have a brother, will inherit by ta'sib, residuary heir. They will inherit the rest. The children will inherit the rest. 2 shares for the male, 1 share for the female. But in the absence of males of her generation, and in the absence of full or paternal brothers, in the absence of males of her generation, what does, wait a second. In the absence of males of her generation, forget about the fallen, this is a different story. It's about the brothers, but not about the children of the deceased here. So if she does not have, let us say this is the deceased, and the deceased has 2 daughters and no brothers, they will get the 2/3. The deceased has only 1 daughter, she will get the 1/2. The deceased also has a brother, she will not be entitled to a designated share. The presence of the brother will yu'assibha, will make her a residuary heir. In this case, she will be residuary heir with her bil ghayr, by her brother, who will make her a residuary heir. And then they will get the rest after everybody gets their designated shares. The children will get the rest, and he will get 2 shares, and the daughters will get 1 share. Is that clear? That's clear. No, it's not clear? Why is it not clear? Too fast? No, but wait a second. Okay, so the daughters in the absence of sons, if it is 1 daughter, that's the one condition that you need to remember for the daughters. Are there sons or not? You don't have to remember, is there a mother or not? Is there a father or not? Is there a husband or not? Is there like an uncle or not? Just remember one thing when you think of daughters. Is there a son, like someone that is of their generation, male of is there a son of the deceased? Their brother? Do they have brothers? Yes or no? No. No. How many daughters do you have? 1, she gets half. 2, 2/3. 3, 70, 2/3. Good. So they have a brother. What do they get? The daughters have a brother of their own, a son of the deceased. No. You want, because you're looking at this. No, you don't say 1/4, because 1/4 means that she gets a designated share. You never say, even if it is 1/4, even if we sit down and figure out that it is 1/4, you only say she gets the remainder, al-baqi. She gets al-baqi ma'a ikhwaniha. She gets the remainder with her siblings, and then they divide it among themselves, regardless of their number. In the presence of a male offspring, this will be done this way. In the of her generation, Let us say, okay. So let us say you have this. This is the deceased now. A deceased had a son. This son unfortunately died, but was survived by a male and a female. Okay? Now, when we say the daughter will inherit 1/2 in the absence of brothers, or in the absence of male offspring, we have to add of her generation. Because if this is present, will he block her from the 1/2? No. Is not of her generation. He will not block her to the 1/2. Now, what does he get? He will be asaba. He will get the remainder, if there is a remainder. The son's son will get the remainder, if there is a remainder. Okay, so what? Yeah, we will, inshallah. But here, so the daughter, okay, so the Quran says, يوصيكم الله في أولادكم للذكر مثل حظ الأنثيين فإن كن نساء فوق 2 فلهن ثلث ما ترك وإن كانت واحدة فلها النصف ولآبائه لكل واحد منهما سدس ما ترك. So the Quran did not talk about 2 daughters. The Quran talked about 1 and talked about more than 2. and did not say what happens with two daughters. The Sunnah explained, the Tirmidhi reported this hadith where the wife of Sa'd ibn Rabi'a died in Uhud with the Prophet ﷺ, was martyred in Uhud with the Prophet ﷺ, and then his wife came to the Prophet ﷺ. The ongoing sort of norm or custom is that the girls do not inherit. So the wife came to the Prophet ﷺ and said to him, you know, Sa'd died with you in Uhud. He left these two daughters, and their uncle took all of of Sa'd's estate, and no one will marry them if they don't have money. So the Prophet ﷺ received the revelation, and then he decreed. He said to Sa'd, أعطي البنتين الثلثين وأمهما الثمن ولك ما بقي. So he said, give the two girls 2/3 and their mother 1/8, and the rest is yours. So then the Prophet interpreted this to mean 2/3 applies to two girls as well, not just 3. So 2 and higher, 2 and more, 2 girls or more, they'll get the 2/3. One girl will get 1/2.
There is no uncle, no grandfather, just the mother and the girls. So,
Okay, give me your case. Give me your case.
so 2 girls
Okay, 2 daughters.
and a mother, no grandfather, no brothers,
Okay,
no uncle.
2 daughters and a mother. Daughter times 2 plus mother. Okay, so who's going to help me here? Let's start with the mother. What does the mother get? Their mother or the mother, wait a second. The mother of the deceased,
The mother for the daughter, the wife.
the wife. Whenever you mention any relationship, it has to be in relation to the deceased, not in relation to the survivors. Okay, so this is a wife now. 2 daughters and a wife. So what does the wife get? 1/8. Why does she get 1/8? لوجود الفرع الوارث, because of the presence of inheriting offspring. Inheriting offspring. فرع الوارث, inheriting offspring. Okay, so what do the daughters get? 2/3. Yeah. 2/3. Well, this is a different chapter. This is the chapter of Radd, which is redistribution. Redistribution when you have more than the basically the shares, the sort of the people deserving of the shares. In this case, you know, quickly, in the same proportion. No. This is a wife now. The wife does not get any in Radd, according to the majority. According to the majority, the vast majority, the agreement of the four madhahib, the wife and the husband will not get anything more than their designated share. So all the rest will go to the 2 daughters and be divided between them. All the rest will go to the 2 daughters and be divided between them, because the spouses do not partake in the redistribution, which is a Radd. Okay. So that was all clear. Now let us finish Banat al-Ibn also. This is taking a lot longer than expected. But I guess it's fine. We'll just take our time so that we don't understand everything. Let's take Banat al-Ibn. The Sheikh said, وَبَنَاتُ الْإِبْنِ بِمَنْزِلَتِهِنَّ إِذَا عَدِمْنَا يعني عدمنا البنات نفسهن فإن اجتمعنا سقط بنات الابن إلا أن يكون معهن أو أنزل منهن ذكر فيعصبهن فيما بقي. So the son's daughters take their place in their absence, but when both daughters are present, the son's daughters will be precluded unless they have a son's son of their generation or however low, in which case he will make them co-residuary heirs. Let's read the following one so that we can get it over with and then discuss. وإن كانت بنت واحدة وبنات ابن للبنت النصف ولبنات الابن واحدة كانت أو أكثر من ذلك السدس تكملة الثلثين إلا أن يكون معهن ذكر فيعصبهن. If it is one daughter and there are sons' daughters, then the one daughter gets 1/2 and the daughters of the sons, one or more, get 1/6 to complete the 2/3 the daughters are entitled to. And that is true except if there is a male offspring of their generation who will make them co-residuary heirs. Okay, so we're talking now about bint al-ibn. Bint al-ibn is the daughter of the son. This one here. So this is the deceased. Her son died, but his daughter is alive. The son died. Let us say this deceased, all of his children died and was only survived by this one. She is the daughter of the deceased's son. How do you treat her? What are the scenarios for the daughters? 1/2, one daughter, without musharik or mu'assib, without other, sort of daughters, or without other daughters or other sons, without brothers and sisters, 1/2. 2/3, 2 or more daughters. Residuary heir by her male sibling, by her brother. These are the 3 cases. I forgot one case. Hajj, blocked. She'll be blocked. When is she blocked? She's never blocked, guys. She's a daughter. How could you block a daughter? She is never blocked. When does she not inherit? If she killed her father. Or, but she will not inherit from him because she's... if she will not inherit, or if she left Islam. Because what are the hindrances? What are the hindrances? قتل كفر, slavery, murder, disbelief, or اختلاف الدين, which is being a variant, different religions. Okay, but other than that, daughters never get blocked. Sons never get blocked. 6 people will always inherit. Always inherit. They can be partially blocked. Some of them can be partially blocked, but they will never be completely blocked. Who are the 6 people who will always inherit? Sons, daughters, husband and wife, mother and father. Excellent. We're actually doing very well. We should actually speed up. So this lady here survived her grandfather who did not have children. What does she get? 1/2. Treat the sons' daughters just like daughters. 1/2. There were 2 of them. What do they get? 2/3. Okay. Now, 2/3. They have a brother. What do they get? They inherit the remainder with their brother. He will have 2 shares and they will have each 1 share. The remainder. Because once he is there, he will cause ta'asib. Ta'asib meaning inherit as a residuary heir. That could hurt them? Yes, it could hurt them. It could hurt them in the sense that if there is nothing left, they're not going to inherit. And this would be called akh al-shu'm. So he's like, a bad omen, sort of unfortunate. Huh? How is there going to be nothing left? If I have other people that will get the designated shares. So here we go. I have two sisters here, two daughters of the deceased here, and I have 1, 2, 3. These are children of the son of the deceased, and I have 2 daughters. The 2 daughters will get 2/3, right? The deceased also had a husband. Will get what? 1/4, because of the presence of children. The deceased also had, let us say, a mother. What does she get? 1/6. So 2/3 and 1/4 and 1/6 is even more than 1. They don't get anything. Because ألحقوا الفرائض بأهلها فما بقي فلأول رجل ذكر. The Prophet ﷺ said, give the people deserving of designated shares their shares. Whatever is left will be given to the closest male relative. In this case, this closest male relative will be asaba with his sisters. They will inherit the rest if he's present. Okay. What if, when is he gonna cause her problem? When is he gonna cause her problem? This brother. Yeah. So what if there is only one daughter of the deceased, and she died and he died. There's only one daughter of the deceased. The Sheikh said if there is only one daughter of the deceased and you have bint al-ibn, you have the daughter of the son, the daughter of the son will get what? 1/6. Because you only have one daughter. The daughters get 2/3. The one daughter, Sulbiya, which is the immediate daughter of the deceased, gets 1/2. What if you have one Sulbiya, one daughter of the deceased, and one granddaughter of the deceased? The one granddaughter will not compete with her aunt because her aunt is the immediate daughter of the deceased. Will not compete with her aunt, but she will take the 1/6 that is left. That is the difference between the inheritance of multiplicity of daughters and the inheritance of the one daughter. She will take that 1/6. She will take that 1/6. What if you have 2 here? They will both take the 1/6 together. Both take the 1/6 together. What if they have a brother? They will take the remainder and divide it among themselves. The brothers gets 2 shares and each one of them gets 1 share. When will the brother ruin it for them? Here is the scenario. This deceased was survived by one daughter, she gets 1/2. This deceased was also survived by a husband who gets 1/4. This deceased was survived by a mother who gets 1/6. This deceased was also survived by a maternal brother who gets 1/6. Wait a second, can they get anything? No, they can't get anything. The maternal brother here will not get anything because of the presence of children. But in this case, okay, So let us say that the deceased, okay, was survived by a grandfather. What does the grandfather get in the absence of the father? And the presence of children here.
You will get
1/6. Okay, so I gave this 1/6, I gave this 1/6, I gave this 1/4, I gave this 1/2. What do they get?
actually
They get, huh?
somebody is owed something. Because it's more than one.
Yes. So this will be awl, which is basically the opposite of radd, which is redistribution. This will be awl, which is proportionate reduction. So we will have proportionate reduction for all of them. We will make the denominator higher, and we will have proportionate reduction for all of them. Now, but this daughter, had her son, her brother been dead, or had she had no brother, what would she have gotten? 1/6. Because no one will keep her from getting the 1/6, which is the remainder of the 2/3. She will get the 1/6, which is the remainder of the 2/3.
So because the brother is there, both of them they get
The brother now is there, they get the remainder. She does not have a designated share anymore. She and her brother get the remainder. If there is remainder, she will get the remainder. If there is no remainder, she will not get the remainder. Okay, because that is important here to remember, because we will say, what are the scenarios for the son's daughters? The son's daughters in the absence of daughters, and in the absence of certainly daughters and sons. But in the absence of daughters and sons, the son's daughters will get what? 1/2. 1/2. If it is 1 and 2/3, if they are 2 or more. In the presence of daughters, how many daughters do we have? 1 daughter. The son's daughters will get the 1/6, which is the difference between the 2/3 daughters in general are entitled to, and the 1/2 that will go to the immediate daughter. That will go to the immediate daughter. Now, what is the other scenario? If they have a brother, he will make them residuary heirs. They will lose their designation. They will not have designated shares. They'll become residuary heirs. They will become residuary heirs. Keep in mind, no one will beat them to the remainder, because this jiha, which is bunuwa, being the children of the deceased, they will always come first as residuary heirs before any other jiha, before any other direction. They are most deserving. They will not get anything only in one case. إذا استغرقت الفروض التاركة. When people with designated shares get the whole estate. People with designated shares get the whole estate. This is an example that I gave you. Husband, daughter, mother, and grandfather. Mother and grandfather. The grandfather is not blocked because the father is not here. So he will get the 1/6. The husband will get the 1/4. The mother will get the 1/6. The daughter will get the 1/2. They don't have anything. But if that child was not present, if that boy was not present, his sisters would have been entitled to 1/6. If they are entitled to 1/6, no one can block them from that 1/6. even if we have to do if we have to do proportionate reduction for everybody, we have to squeeze into it everyone who is entitled to a designated share. That is the power of people who have designated shares. You just can't block them. People who are entitled to the remainder, the residuary heirs, you could basically, if there's something left, they get it. If there is nothing left, that's it. But people who are entitled to designated shares, they'll always be at the table. You can't dismiss them. We said that the son should be the strongest heir, but he's not entitled to a designated share. But because in his presence everybody else is getting blocked, partially blocked, or totally blocked, there will have to be something left for him. There will have to be something left for him. Okay, so these are this is the scenario here. Okay, what if there is something remaining? Let us say the grandfather is not here, and then you have 1/6 and 1/4 and 1/2, or actually let's say 2/3 and 1/4, and then you don't have this. So 2/3, 1/4, and 2/3 and 1/4. Is there something remaining after 2/3 and 1/4? Yes. However tiny it is, but there is something remaining. They get the remainder, and they divide it among themselves. These are the children of the son of the deceased in the absence of their father and the presence of two daughters. The presence of two daughters, or in the presence of one daughter. And they have, there's a boy here, there will be residuary heirs, and they will get the remainder. What if this man died, but he was survived by a boy and a girl? This man died, and he was survived by a boy or a girl.
No, that's just that will get a half, and the rest of it.
Okay, so this man died, this man who is the deceased's son's son, died and was survived by a son and a daughter. And he was also survived by a son's daughter. A son's daughter.
She gets half of whatever.
And let us say a son's daughter, and also, okay, so we have two scenarios here. Survived by a son's daughter and a great grandson. That is a great grandson. She is a granddaughter. He is a great grandson. Clear? Does he make ta'asib of her? Does he cause her to be a residuary heir? No. Who wants to say yes? No one wants to say yes? He makes her a residuary heir only if she needs him. If she needs him. Okay. When does she need him, and when does she not need him? To make her a residuary heir. Okay. So let us say she is a daughter here. Okay? This is a granddaughter here. Her aunts, she has two aunts who are alive at the time the deceased died. What does she get as a designated share? Nothing. Because we said that if there is only one daughter, she will get the remainder of the 2/3, she will get 1/6. But if there are two daughters of the deceased, the granddaughter will get what? Nothing. She waits to be a residuary heir. Unfortunately, her brother had died. Okay, so he can't make her a residuary heir. Her brother was survived by a son and a daughter. A son and a daughter. Okay. Then, there is an uncle here, for instance. There is an uncle. Okay, there is an uncle. The deceased, okay. If this was not present, we will give the designated shares to those deserving of the designated shares. So we will give the 2/3 to the daughters. The granddaughter gets what? Waits for what? Doesn't get a designated share. Is she a residuary heir? No, because this uncle will be the residuary heir. You know, she can't be a residuary heir. What if she has a nephew here, a nice nephew? We will make him a asaba for her. He will make her a residuary heir. Why? Because she needs him. Otherwise, she doesn't get anything. If she needs him, she can pick him up, put him with her in her generation. So, okay? Now, when does she not need him and then he does not become a residuary heir? If we had one daughter instead of 2 daughters. She gets 1/6. She is entitled to a share in the inheritance. She will tell him, I don't need you. So what does he wait for? What does he wait for? He is connected to the deceased. He is a child of the deceased, connected to him only through means. He will always be a residuary heir. He waits for the remainder. If there is any remainder, he gets it. If there is no remainder, he doesn't get anything. She will tell him, I don't need you, so goodbye. But if she needs him, she will tell him, come, you know, let's be asaba. Let's together be asaba so that we can take the rest and not give it to that uncle. I'm sorry, but this is really taking longer than expected. But is that clear? We will come back to it. We will repeat this because this is a little bit tricky here. But in general, and then we will take all of the ahwal. When we're done, we will take all of the ahwal and repeat them. In general, the daughters of the sons, they are treated like daughters in the absence of daughters and sons. In the absence of the higher generation between them and the deceased, the granddaughters. And that is which granddaughters? Any granddaughters coming from the sons. So let us say this granddaughter here, because that's the last thing that we want to mention. If you have a great-granddaughter and a granddaughter, you will treat them exactly as if you have, without anyone else blocking them, you will treat them exactly as if you have a daughter and a granddaughter. You have a great-granddaughter and a granddaughter. You will treat them exactly as if you have a daughter and a granddaughter. So the granddaughter will get 1/2 and the great-granddaughter will get 1/6. If you have 2 granddaughters, they will get the 2/3. The great-granddaughter gets nothing unless she has someone to make her a residuary heir and take with her the remainder, if there is a remainder. So granddaughters are treated like daughters in the absence of daughters and sons. Granddaughters take 1/6 after the daughters. The daughters never take 1/6 because there is no daughter between them and the deceased. They are his immediate daughters. So this will not apply to them. So the granddaughters will be like daughters. The granddaughters will take the 1/6. If there is only one daughter higher than them, they will take the remainder of the 2/3, which is 1/6. The granddaughters will inherit as residuary heirs if there is a male of their generation that will make them residuary heirs, or lower than their generation and they needed him to make them residuary heirs, and the granddaughters will be blocked in the presence of someone higher than them, like a male heir that is higher than them. He will block them. The son here, if there is a son of the deceased, the son of the deceased will block them. Okay? Is that clear? That's it. We'll take 5 minutes and then we'll take the Q&A session. We'll do the question.
Experience nefes.